Imagine this, your ex-wife steps out of the marriage, chest puffed with victory, thinking she's unlocked eternal bliss. But lurking in the shadows of her mind is a dark force she can't escape. Her own. Psychology, twisting like a knife in the dark. This isn't about petty revenge or fairy tale comebacks. No, it's the sinister unraveling of her reality, where freedom turns into a psychological prison. In those first weeks, she's buzzing with adrenaline, rewriting her life as a heroic escape. She posts glowing selfies, surrounded by cheers from friends who fuel her delusion. But deep down in the quiet nights, doubt creeps in like a whisper from the abyss. What if this high is just the calm before her mind's brutal storm? And as the days stretch, that whisper grows louder. Hold on, what if that initial rush is hiding a darker trap? Your ex dives headfirst into self-discovery, signing up for classes, revamping her space, feeling invincible. But dark psychology knows better. This is euphoria masking the void. She's built a fortress of affirmations, convincing herself you're the villain she outsmarted. Friends echo it back, amplifying the echo chamber in her head. Yet as she swipes through dating apps, the attention floods in, shallow, fleeting like shadows playing tricks. It's intoxicating at first, a rush of validation she craves. But wait, is this real connection or just the mind's desperate grasp at illusion? The first date looms, promising excitement, but something sinister stirs beneath the surface. Picture the date, candles flickering, laughter flowing. But then, bam, a chill hits her core. This stranger doesn't know her fears, her quirks, her soul. Dark psychology strikes here. It's the illusion of intimacy crumbling, exposing raw vulnerability. She pushes on, more dates, more distractions, but each one chips away at her facade. Compliments feel empty, advances too rushed. Subconsciously, her brain starts its dark work, comparing, analyzing without mercy. Why does this perfect guy pale against memories of you? Not because you're flawless, but because familiarity breeds a twisted safety. The cracks widen, and denial sets in like a venomous fog. But how long can she ignore the growing unease before it consumes her? What if those comparisons are the mind's cruelest weapon? As months tick by, she measures every suitor against your ghost. Interrupters, distant hearts, reckless souls. Dark psychology reveals the truth. Retrospect paints you golden, not through rose-tinted glasses, but survival instinct. You were her anchor, her baseline, now ripped away. Novelty fades, friends tire of her tales. Kids, if any, rebel in the chaos she's ignored. Exhaustion creeps in, turning happiness into a grueling act. Posts demand more effort, smiles weigh like chains. Panic brews, hyperactivity or withdrawal, but always the revision starts. Was the marriage really that bad? But admitting it would shatter her, unless a darker narrative saves her ego. Brace yourself, the novelty's death is where the real darkness unfolds. Around 6 to 8 months, the high crashes, leaving her in a psychological wasteland. Dark forces in her mind rewrite history. Maybe you've changed. Maybe reconciliation isn't defeat, but the dating pool. A nightmare of players, cheaters, broken men, shallow waters where she's just another catch. Competition from unscarred women crushes her illusions. Matches mean nothing. Chemistry's a lie. She's not unique, she's disposable. The economics of desire hit hard, eroding her worth. Loneliness isn't casual, it's soul-deep existential dread. One night alone, the weight crushes her, leading to those midnight texts. But what twisted truths do they hide? Those texts? They're cries from a mind in torment, drowning in cognitive dissonance. Dark psychology thrives here, holding "I was right" and "I'm miserable." Tears her apart, rewiring neurons in agony. Sleep falters, appetite vanishes, anxiety blooms like poison ivy. Friends shift, married ones flee, seeing her as a threat. Singles compete in the same grim pond. Her world shrinks, connections fade, revealing you as her true confidant now gone. Phantom echoes haunt her, your voice in her head, old habits dying hard. Neural pathways don't erase, they torment. Songs, scents, spots trigger floods of regret. But the darkest cut? Realizing her freedom is isolation's cage. Isolation's grip tightens. What if touch starvation is the silent killer? Not lust, but everyday contact, a brush, a hug, now absent, spiking stress like a drug. Dark psychology exposes the body's rebellion. Weakened defenses, endless fatigue. Identity fractures too. She was us, now adrift in solo decisions that sting like cuts. Finances bite hard. Half the income, double the burden, turning independence into decorated despair. Rebounds rush in, desperate bids to fill the void. But they explode in flames, red flags ignored. You're the haunting standard, idealized in hindsight. No one competes with a perfected phantom. But at the 2-year mark, a fork emerges, truth or eternal denial. Denial's path, a bitter rebirth, joining echo chambers of misery to validate her choice. Dark forces mold her into a cynic, spreading the poison to others. But truth's road crushes harder, admitting hurt, seeking forgiveness, facing the ego's ruins. Performance wears thin, fake joy hollows her out, double lives exhaust like espionage. Regret festers without outlet, salted by seeing couples, movies, milestones. Then the blow, spotting you thriving, improved with another. Proof the marriage wasn't doomed, you were capable. She just projected her shadows. Internal chaos amplified, alone without your shield. But the ultimate darkness? Discovering her restlessness was never about you. That restlessness? A mirror to her soul's voids, projected onto you, now glaring back unsolved and raw. Dark psychology unmasks it. She sought aliveness but got emptiness, excitement but chaos, desire but disposability. Standards erode in desperation, self-esteem crumbles with each compromise. Obsessive reinvention fails. It's not her shell, but the miscalculation inside. Touch deficit, financial strain, social contraction, all weave a web of torment. Phantom syndrome lingers, turning to share only to face the void. Years later, the revelation strikes. She didn't leave lack. She chased a mirage of more. But markets don't bend to delusions. By then, redemption's window often slams shut. Shut forever. What's left in the aftermath? Your ex faces the raw truth. She traded flawed reality for a fantasy that devoured her psyche. Dark psychology's final twist. Deserving more means nothing against harsh odds. She's alive but numb, free but chained, desired but discarded. The unraveling complete. She lives with the ghost of what was, your evolution, her catalyst, her loss eternal. This isn't karma, it's the mind's merciless game. Gentlemen, heal, rebuild, thrive. Because while she's drowning in regret's depths, you've surfaced stronger. Remember, the darkest prisons are self-built, and hers unbreakable.